Madam Vice President, Excellencies, distinguished delegates. The human rights situation in Haiti has reached a boiling point. Since my last update to this Council in March, violence and human rights violations and abuses have escalated and intensified. I welcome yesterday's decision of the UN Security Council to strengthen the multinational security support mission by transitioning it to the gang suppression force for Haiti. This is a strong signal of support for the Haitian people. International commitment and backing for this are urgent. Without them, the worst may yet to come for Haiti and the broader region. More than 16,000 people have been killed and some 7,000 people injured in armed violence since the 1st of January 2022. And that's when we began our monitoring on gang-related violence. Today, gangs are spreading fear beyond the capital, Port-au-Prince, into nearby regions, including in the Lower Artibonite and in the Center Department. This violence is fertile ground for further cross-border arms, drugs, and human trafficking, which threaten to destabilize the wider sub-region. An estimated 270,000 to 500,000 firearms are circulating illegally in Haiti, with most weapons in the hands of gangs. Gangs are killing and kidnapping people, extorting them at illegal checkpoints, hijacking drugs, transporting food and other supplies, and burning and destroying homes, hospitals, schools, and public buildings. They are committing widespread sexual violence to assert dominance and territorial influence and displace people. The gangs kidnap women and girls and subject them to extreme brutality, including killing and sexual exploitation. My office is working with the authorities to step up investigations and prosecutions, including through specialized judicial units. I urge your strong support for programs to protect survivors of sexual violence. Madame la Vice-Présidente, le bilan humanitaire est effroyable. La moitié de la population, soit 6 millions de personnes, dont 3,3 millions d'enfants, a besoin d'aide humanitaire. Environ 1,3 million de personnes, dont la moitié sont des enfants, ont fui leur foyer. Haïti figure désormais parmi les 5 zones les plus préoccupantes au monde en matière d'insécurité alimentaire. Je suis profondément préoccupé par le sort des enfants en Haïti. L'UNICEF estime qu'un enfant sur 7 n'est pas scolarisé et que près d'1 million d'autres risquent d'abandonner l'école. De plus en plus d'enfants sont victimes de traite, d'exploitation et de recrutement forcé par les gangs. Ils sont utilisés comme messagers, guetteurs, porteurs d'armes et sont parfois contraints de combattre contre les gangs rivaux, les forces de sécurité et des groupes dits d'autodéfense. Nous ne pouvons qu'imaginer l'impact à long terme pour les enfants d'Haïti et pour la société dans son ensemble. En juillet, les autorités ont ouvert le premier centre de transit et d'orientation à Port-au-Prince afin d'offrir un refuge temporaire, un soutien à la réintégration aux enfants anciennement associés à des gangs armés. Nous avons besoin davantage de ce type de mesures. Distinguished participants, I am concerned that state law enforcement have used unnecessary and disproportionate lethal force in their operations against the gangs. For example, operations by law enforcement account for more than half of killings and injuries so far this year, a steep increase compared to 2024. Almost 1/3 of people killed or injured were hit by stray bullets. Specialized police units have summarily executed 174 people this year for alleged affiliations with gangs. Since March, the government has stepped up its use of explosive drones in its anti-gang operations in Port-au-Prince. As of mid-September, drone strikes have killed at least 559 people, including 11 children. Most of these drone strikes are likely unlawful under international human rights law. The use of force by police and security personnel needs to respect the principles of legality, necessity, proportionality, non-discrimination, precaution, and accountability. I urge the authorities to investigate all allegations of unnecessary and disproportionate use of force and ensure perpetrators, regardless of affiliation, are brought to justice. It is deeply worrying that so-called self-defense groups and spontaneous crowds of people have killed more than 500 alleged gang members this year with the alleged support of police officers. A spiral of violence between gang members, the population, and the security forces will only add to people's feelings of insecurity. Efforts to restore security need to be rooted in human rights and go hand in hand with rebuilding the rule of law and justice in the country. The authorities, with the support of the international community, urgently need to root out impunity and corruption, including within state institutions. It is also crucial to take meaningful steps to bring perpetrators to account for the grave human rights violations and abuses that have been committed. In addition, work needs to begin to address the country's pervasive inequalities and poverty. Madam Vice President, the people of Haiti need the unwavering attention and support of the international community. All states need to implement the Security Council's arms embargo in full to prevent the illicit trafficking of firearms and ammunition into Haiti, and enforcement at borders is absolutely crucial. I urge states to support the gang suppression force with sufficient funding and personnel. It is vital to ensure that robust human rights safeguards underpin its work. My office is ready to continue providing advice on the conduct of operations in line with international human rights law. We can and must turn this situation around for the people of Haiti. Thank you very much.